What's up, everybody? It's me, Erica, and we are down here to talk about nothing again. This is a video about nothing. I do not have anything to talk about, even though I do want to talk about what happened at the Capitol yesterday and how I felt about what happened at the Capitol yesterday. So, we were down here yesterday making a video about Kim Kardashian, Kanye West, and Dr. Dre. And I said, I don't know what's going on in the world today. Honey, little did I know that the people who suffer from an illusion of white supremacy were protesting. They were going to count the electoral votes. And yesterday was the day for that. And they were protesting, which is normal, right? People are not happy with the outcome. And we know that orange triangle has, he does his little dog whistles and things like that. But something happened where these people ended up storming and going into the Capitol building. The Capitol of the United States, a building that was built by enslaved Africans. Do you understand me? These people ran into every space, every office, girl, I was like, what is wrong with these white people? But it was like, first of all, okay, so I was done doing my video. I was editing my video. I was logging into work, getting my work stuff, connecting and everything. And I wasn't watching the news because I normally I don't watch the news just to be like, have it on. It's just too much, and we already know what they're about, right? We already know what the media is about. So you have to be mindful on what you take in, right? And so I was just I was actually watching Rodney's video. And then I was watching Rodney's video. And he made a point on his video to ask a question, name some iconic one-liners, or he made a statement that said that Monique doesn't have any one-liners because that was his videos about. His video was also about Dr. Dre, and he talked about RHOP, and he talked about the response and the people saying that Monique was an icon and she was a reality show icon and all this other stuff. And so it sounds ridiculous, of course. And so his point was like, okay, name me some one-liners like of Nene's, or, close your legs to married men, or $10,000. Greg gave you $10,000. And low down monkey did he say low down monkey with a wig on, close your legs to married men, trash box, I said what I said. What else? So he's saying all of these different things, and everybody can think of iconic one-liners. So I said, okay, you know what? I said I wasn't going to talk about this shit this year, but I'm feeling a little petty this morning. So I went down to Twitter and I posted a tweet that said, if Monique is so iconic as a reality show icon, name me some one-liners that you have injected into your everyday conversations. Meaning, show me where she has been so iconic and influential in her presence on reality TV that she has made an imprint, like a Tiffany Pollard or like a Nene Leakes or a Kenya Moore. Even Portia got one-liners. Bye, Ashy. I don't even have to go through it. But the point was to kind of draw this picture that y'all really don't really care about that character that much. And she's not really an iconic character, and people only paid attention to her because she got into the fight. And I think a lot of people believe that this is her first season, because when I did ask the question, everybody was, baby, when I tell you that it was so many deflections and avoiding the questions and what does this have to do with anything? So I thought I was Miss Cersei Lannister, honey, and I was going to choose violence for for the day. I was gonna choose violence for the day. I said, I'm gonna start. I said, y'all want to start some shit? That's how you know it was on. I was on some bullshit, because that's literally how I started. That's literally how I started the post. I said, do y'all want to start some shit? And I asked the question, if I said, y'all want to start some shit? Okay, since Monique is your iconic queen anchor of RHOP Girls, name a one-liner that Monique's that you repeat in your conversations. Example, I said what I said, or don't come for me unless I send for you. And I put, okay, go. The amount of people who were posting other housewives saying, even housewives from Orange County and New York. Clip. Orange County and New York, and they had everything. It was crickets. Nobody didn't have anything to say. So I thought I had started some shit. I thought I was shaking the table. Then, okay, I'm sitting down and I get into, my work stuff. And I'm looking at the replies and I'm laughing. I'm like, y'all can't think of any? Where y'all at? Where y'all at? Y'all can't think of any? So then, let's show you some of the replies. It was so funny. Some of the replies was, some people say it doesn't exist. Not my queen, but I'll tell you, I tell my husband I'll drag you pregnant and all. That's what's from Lassie. The only reason why y'all like her is because she fought someone that has the same hood mentality, and she has the same hood mentality as some of y'all. Somebody said we ain't got shit in the comments. She wasn't allowed to film 3/4 of the season. The laugh in her confessional at Candace is iconic. Girl, what? No, I said she's been on the show for 3 years. You can't say you don't have no one-liners that you use in conversations because she hasn't been on the show for 3/4 of the season, when she's been on there for 4 seasons. 3 seasons. When she coming 2, 3, 4, and 5. She's been on there 4 seasons. So I thought I had started some shit, right? Oh my God. So the lady at my job, she sends me an IM, and she was like, you see what's going on at the Capitol? And I was like, no, I know what was going on at the Capitol, but I didn't know, was something going on at the Capitol. She was like, turn on the news. Child, I turned on the news. This is what them white people were climbing. Wait a minute. Not only had they passed the gates, and in some footage, you see some of them motherfuckers opening the gates for them, the cops opening the gates for them. But they were climbing through windows. They were taking statues. They were posing with statues of ex-presidents. They were in Nancy Pelosi's office, in droves. Not only one woman who was killed. All of this stuff was happening, and it was amazing to watch, because we know what it would look like if those people had been Black Americans, right? But because it's white Americans, and white Americans tend to have this rooted illusion of white supremacy, that they know that it's clear. You saw it. They know that they could do whatever they want. Joy Reid had a great comment about it on MSNBC. I do want to play it for you guys, because it just basically outlined how cops and white supremacists really work together, because we know she gave examples in 2014 when Freddie Gray was murdered by the police, and how they were armed up and lined up for peaceful protesters, and these people bum rushed, invaded, they call it insurrection. I've never heard that term until yesterday. I was like, what is an insurrectionist? I never heard it. Because I'm not that's not my lane. So I'm like, okay, what's an insurrectionist? I'm looking it up. Then people were all in the office. They were on the floor. They came in there because they didn't want the electoral votes counted to have the final say that Joseph Biden would be the next president of the United States. These people were all up and through. There were shots of people walking in and out like they was at the goddamn liquor store, like they was coming in and out of the grocery store. Y'all just walking in and out, taking pictures, taking selfies with cops. Girl, I was like, this is a mess. This is a mess. But the funny thing, the juxtaposition of the jokes on Twitter, because at first I would look at the news and I would find myself getting annoyed. Like, I can't believe that they are allowing this to happen. And then I'm thinking to myself, yeah, you don't have any of your militarized police force out there because they're in the crowd with the people. They're in the crowd with the goddamn people. And like I said, there was footage of them like opening the barricades. And you remember in 2014 with the Freddie Gray, they were in full military regalia. They were. And they looked like they were in some, far off country where they go and they steal resources for other countries, and they claim that they're coming in to bring democracy and save the people and all this and change the power structure. They do all of that when they're really taking resources, and so they use their military. The same thing they do on U.S. soil. And you would think, like, oh my God, what's going on? This is domestic terrorism. Yeah, but the domestic terrorists are white folks. And so when it's time for the police to respond to domestic terrorism, those are their cousins. Those are their uncles and aunts and mothers and sisters and nieces and nephews, their family out there. That's why you didn't see them out there in their riot gear, because they were in the crowd with the people, all on the lawn, climbing up the walls. Let me tell you something. They would have been shooting niggas off the damn walls had they been climbing up the walls. Even my 11-year-old son was like, they would have threw a grenade in that crowd. They would have blew up the Capitol building if that was a bunch of black people doing that. The black people, they would have killed we already know what it would have been like. We already know what it would have been like. And this was just a display and demonstration of extreme white supremacy, the illusion of white supremacy. And they know that their cops are not going to do anything to them. You white people are not scared of cops. We know that. They use cops for themselves. If they don't like that you're parked in a parking space, they'll call the cops on you. It's like their personal fucking security. You know what I'm saying? But Joy Reid said something, and I wanted to play it because I thought it was really good what she said. I'm just going to play a little part. It's a longer piece, but I just want to play a small part, and then we're going to get up out of here. You guys let me know how you feel about it. What do you think? I mean, I don't even have to ask you, what do you think if it was a bunch of black folks or brown people or Native Americans or indigenous people, whatever, any other people of color, hello, black, indigenous people of color, they would have blew that damn place up and been like, we'll just rebuild it. Don't worry about it, child. Just as long as we get the niggas out of there, blow it up. I couldn't believe when I said it's people climbing through the window, and it was amazing to watch, because walking through the Capitol with a Confederate flag. Do you hear me? Like, the people was really out of their minds, and the cops are just walking them out. Here, come on, make sure you get down the stairs. I don't want you to trip. I saw one clip of this man, a cop, looked like a black cop, all by himself. The people were coming through the door. He didn't have a weapon. I guess he was ordered not to shoot anybody because you're armed. And why are you backing up away from these people like they're about to hurt you? You're armed. I would have shot. I don't know, maybe they didn't want to shoot anybody in the Capitol building because they expected to come back, because they really came back and started counting the votes after everybody was gone. Y'all didn't do a sweep. Y'all didn't do a security sweep. These people were all up and through. This man was sitting at Nancy Pelosi's desk with his fucking feet on the desk, took a piece of stationery out of her office and was in the crowd like, yeah, I got some blood on it. I left her a quarter even though she ain't worth it. My name is so-and-so from fucking whatever fucking hick town he was from. Giving his full name. Because he knows ain't shit gonna happen to him. I'm a white man in the Capitol with my feet on this lady's desk. I don't give a fuck, and you ain't gonna do a goddamn thing about it. Hello? It was absolutely crazy. But I want you to listen to this. Hold on, let me turn this up. Okay, hold on. This is Joy Reid.
cops are taking selfies with them, walking them down the steps to make sure they're not hurt, taking care with their bodies, not like they treated Freddie Gray's body. White Americans aren't afraid of the cops. White Americans are never afraid of the cops, even when they're committing insurrection, even when they're engaged in attempting to occupy our capital, to steal the votes of people who look like me. Because in their minds, they own this country, they own that capital, they own the cops work for them, and people like me have no damn right to try to elect a president. Because we don't get to pick the president, they get to pick the president. They own the president, they own the White House, they own this country. And so when you think you own it, you own the place, you ain't afraid of the police, because the police are you, and the police reflect back to them. We're with you. You're good. We're not going to hurt you, because you're not them. Guarantee you, if that was a Black Lives Matter protest in D.C., there would already be people shackled, arrested, or dead. Shackled, arrested, en masse, or dead. Get Brittany Packnett Cunningham on here. She'll tell you how they treated her in Ferguson. Put Alicia Garza on here. She'll tell you how they treated her at every Black Lives Matter march. Get Patrice Cullors on. They'll tell you. They'll tell you what it feels like to protest peacefully and unarmed and have how the police will treat you if you're black. That's it. They're not afraid of the cops because they know the cops are cool with it.
They know the cops are cool with it. They know the cops are cool with it. They know the cops are not going to do anything. They know the cops are amongst them. Like I said, it was some video footage of the cops like opening the barricades and being like, go ahead, go in. Every last one of them motherfuckers needs to be without a job, without a pension, nothing. Nothing. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it, but then I was like, well, this is a demonstration of white supremacy that you're seeing here. There would be no way. Can you guys imagine? Can you imagine? They said at the Black Lives Matter protests when Freddie Gray, that the cops told them that they couldn't stand still for 5 seconds. So they were walking in circles. So that, because they told them they couldn't, I guess, loiter. That's what I guess would have been called loitering. But if you were still for 5 seconds, you didn't know what was going to happen to you. You didn't know what was going to happen to you. These people were on the lawn. They started later tear gas, but it was not one rubber bullet, used. It was some tear gas used, but that's about it. This lady who got shot, Ashley Babbitt, I think that's her name. She, the terrorist, she was actually a veteran. Let's see. She was actually a veteran. It said yesterday that 3 people died from medical emergencies near Capitol grounds during the riots. DC Police Chief, this is from CNN, DC Police Chief Robert Conti announced this evening that 3 people died from medical emergencies during today's insurrection at the Capitol. Conti did not specify if these people were involved in any way with overtaking the Capitol building. 1 adult female and 2 adult males appear to have suffered from separate medical emergencies, which resulted in their deaths. Any loss of life in the district is tragic, and our thoughts, whatever, child. DC and Fire Emergency Medical Services transported people to area hospitals with injuries ranging from cardiac arrest to multiple fractures from falling from scaffolding on the west front of the Capitol building. However, city officials did not say whether any of these people are now deceased. Girl, this lady came all the way from California without her husband. They're from San Diego. She had done, how in the world? But to me, I feel like it is just an extension. Like the military, I feel like the only industry in which America is #1 is the military. And that falls and overflows into the policing. Like they use the same policing style on U.S. soil that they use out of the country. I feel like the military and the police department are what makes the police departments all over the country are what makes America strong, is the force. Talked about force yesterday, is the force that they have behind them with their military. And that's really the only industry that America is, exceeding in. Which is unfortunate. Nothing else. Education, healthcare, science, engineering, technology, climate, nothing else, and entertainment. That's the U.S. commodity, entertainment and guns. And then we wonder why people act so violent. This country was built on that. And then the fact that you are believing that this is your country, it's not even your country. Your ancestors colonized this country. You are descendants of people who, you have this idea that everybody but you are violent. You have this idea, everybody but your group of people who have killed more people, more humans in human history. You're the only group that has killed more humans in human history. But you can sit somewhere and say that black and brown people are the most violent people, or black people are so violent and this and that. When the violence is embedded in your government, and the violence is embedded in your police force, is the violence and the racism and everything that is disgusting about this country is embedded in you, because you come from those colonizers. Let me tell you something. I could not believe it. But like I said, when I was trying to get mad about it, I really couldn't get mad about it, but it was just like, okay, I see. But Twitter, baby, when I tell you, we acted a fool on Twitter. Everybody's like, this is not our problem. Child, we ain't thoughts and prayers for who? Child, nothing. We ain't doing nothing. We're minding our own business, cracking jokes. And we're cracking jokes like if we knew if there were black people in there, what would have happened. But we're that type of people where we can really make jokes about almost anything. It was just amazing. So what did you guys think, and how did you guys feel about what was going on down at the Capitol yesterday? It was really a mess. It was a hot mess. It was really a hot mess. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. But this is America. Anyways, y'all, take care of each other. Protect your energy. Let me know what you think or how you felt, or what was funny to you in terms of jokes that you probably saw. Where I know Facebook was in shambles. I can imagine that place was in shambles yesterday. Anyways, y'all, take care of each other. Protect your energy. Peace.